Mr. JC Costa, how are you today?
Doing pretty good, Lior. How you doing?
Awesome. So JC Costa from New Pace Productions is one of our clients, awesome person running a very successful business. I invited him today so he can talk about how he started with nothing, basically no CRM, went to Pipedrive, and now he's on Zoho. I think you have a very interesting story about his progress and the business automations. So before we start, JC, can you tell us a little bit about your business? What do you do?
So New Pace Productions is our company. We do video production predominantly day in and day out. We mainly serve a corporate audience. We serve a lot of mid-sized and enterprise level customers, but we also serve a lot of SMB, small to mid-sized companies as well. We produce a lot of dynamic corporate video content. We do a lot of animation, 2D and 3D. Some of our main industries we serve are higher education, healthcare, technology, some financial services, and a lot of other sort of industry agnostic clients, because people are using so much video in so many different ways that we have clients that span all industries, really.
And in terms of the type of videos, you have, I know, educational videos, you have advertisements. So can you tell us a little bit about what type of videos people usually, consume from a company like yours?
Yeah, it's kind of all over the place because, like I said, people are using video in so many different ways and so many different usages that we sort of have to have a diverse portfolio and a well-rounded skill set, because it could be animated explainer videos, it could be sales videos, they could be product videos, could be social media videos, it could be educational, it could be training. So there's a lot of different types of video production that are out there, and we do a lot of them.
When business owners comes to you, are they giving you their business problem and you're supposed to advise them on what type of solution you can provide them, or they're coming to you with set of requirements for the videos?
More times than not, people are coming to us with an idea of what their specific problem is or what their specific project is. So they might say, hey, we have a certain problem and we think that video can solve the problem, or we have a specific need for a video and we're looking for somebody like you to help, dial in the vision, figure out how to execute it, and ultimately come in and produce the video soup to nuts.
So if, for example, you have business owner, he likes to have a YouTube channel, which I know that lots of businesses these days trying to go to YouTube, can the business provide you raw footage and you will do the post-production and provide a finished product that he can upload to YouTube?
So post-production only videos are a type of video that we did prior to the pandemic happening, where a client might have existing old video files, or they might have photos, or they might have just brand assets, logos, graphics, different pieces of content, where they hand that over to us and say, can you turn this into something that's visually appealing in a video form? Now, when the pandemic hit, that was so accelerated, it was ridiculous, because people were just out filming on their phones and then sending us all the footage, which worked out pretty well in a lot of instances, where, some of it looks better than others depending on the capability. And we were able to coach people through shooting some of their own stuff. But ultimately, we have the ability to take all different kinds of content and files and bring them together. And sometimes you put music underneath, sometimes you write a script and record a narration, and, editing, transitions, graphics, wipes, all that kind of stuff sort of brings together into like a new completely new piece of content that they can use on social media or the website or in their marketing. So
it's awesome. It's amazing that I know my journey of trying to go online, do something on YouTube, accept the fact that I need to stand in front of the camera and talk about my topic, which I'm supposed to be an expert on my topic, and this is problem number one. Now I had to learn about equipment and
editing,
cameras and different type of mics and lighting, and wow, that was huge. So for sure, the post-production part, if someone like you, which I know on your website, you created a list of how to produce a more quality video using an iPhone, for example, a mobile device.
Yep.
That would probably save me tons of money if I had someone instructing me how to go about it.
Yep.
So
we sat awesome. We sat with a lot of clients, and we actually would do a Zoom on a separate computer. So it was like a virtual director, basically. So we're sitting there live on a Zoom while they're in front of their computer doing their recording. So we would help them, coach them through their delivery. So they
awesome.
might have got tripped up or something. You say, hey, let's cut and do another take. And so that helped them sort of record cleaner content. And then we would take all the files and chop them up and edit them, as now that you're a video expert too.
Not expert, just do the bare minimum. So you started your business, very successful business. You work with Excel and the regular stuff that every business will start with. And then something happened and you jumped to Pipedrive. What made you to go to a decision, okay, no more Excel, I need a system to manage my business?
I think you just kind of hit a point at certain times where you're getting busier over time, or you grow your employees and your business becomes more mature. And therefore, me as an owner, I have a partner, our roles sort of shifted and grew over time. And so I went more towards the sales and marketing role, and he went into the operational role. And so it became my duty to grow the business and get more jobs, get more contacts, manage that stuff better. And I just really didn't have a system for it. So, you start talking to people, doing your research, and it's like, okay, I need a CRM. That's the first step.
And the first step was Pipedrive, right?
I tried a few little CRM things that were like Gmail plugin sort of applications that I didn't really leverage or use too much. And it just didn't work out. So somebody introduced me to Pipedrive, so we gave that a shot. Mm-hmm. And I think that was just a good, it was a good introduction to a CRM. It was simple. It worked for what we needed at the time. But, after using it for a little while, you see its limitations. And we started having other needs outside of the CRM that were related to like document signing and proposals and different types of applications where it didn't do that. And it had, connections or Zapier, ways to integrate into other platforms. So then we started doing that. It's like, now I'm using Pipedrive. I'm using another platform to integrate. I'm using Gmail. I'm using Excel. I'm using this. I'm using that. And it's like, I need everything into one platform.
It's also expensive, right? Instead of just that, because now you have like the 20 licenses for that, 20 licenses for that.
Yeah.
It's becoming expensive and overwhelming.
So we went on a hunt for a while to find some sort of all-in-one platform. And there's a lot of all-in-one platforms out there, but none of them really did everything that we needed. And so we were sort of like, well, this isn't going to work. And we tried this and that's not going to work. We tried this, it's not going to work. And then at some point we were introduced to Zoho, which opened up a window of like all these applications and all this ecosystem of pieces of technology that talk to each other, that integrate with each other, that work seamlessly with each other, some better than others. But that was like a wow factor to see what the price for Zoho 1 was. And so, we gave that a shot. And now we're into Zoho for about 3 years now. We're using a handful of the applications: CRM, Click, Sign,
Which
Docs.
applications you don't like? The ones that you will never use?
Projects.
Projects? Seriously? You don't like it at all?
Everybody hates projects.
Okay. What else?
Too clunky, too many tasks. I don't know. I'm not the project manager, but all the people who are using it hate it, completely hate it. So we had to abandon that.
Okay.
And working on the CRM module to do that stuff. What
right.
else?
So now the CRM is your project management system. There is a custom module that is doing all the magic.
Correct.
And what else? What other applications you don't like?
Bookings, nobody apparently likes. We never really even got to use that, but everybody I talked to was like, screw that program, use Calendly.
Bookings is awesome. There is only one small problem. It doesn't work well, except that it's awesome.
So that's an issue. So
yeah.
we tried using Bookings briefly and just abandoned it, went to Calendly and still testing that.
Calendly is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good.
I don't know what other apps I don't like.
And which ones you do like? The ones that you say, you know what, I will recommend on those applications.
I mean, there's different people in my company using Zoho. They're using CRM, using Vault, using campaigns, they're using social, they're using analytics, a little bit of PageSense, Zoho Sign, Docs, Forms, Click. We use Click more than anything. We use Work Drive, Zoho Sheets.
All those are solid applications.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. We don't use Zoho Books yet. We're still in QuickBooks, but
the finance suite is awesome, very strong.
So we use a lot of different things in different ways in there. So
perfect. Now, what type of automations or processes that you currently have in the business that you can say that those processes are helping you, managing the deals in a better way, or leads?
I mean, some of the automations that we've built in the leads module are starting to really show their value. Converting leads to deals, or leads to contacts and deals, is a good automation that we have that pushes all the info. The templates we have in creating estimates, and those automations with the mail merging, and then pulling all of that data from the record into the SOWs, statements of work that we're using.
You have also a very interesting case. There are a few companies that we work with so far with this specific case, that you have a very complicated document, basically Excel sheet with different factors and variables that is producing basically the proposal. So that's also, I think it's a very interesting case.
Yeah, so that estimator module that you guys have built is something new that we're testing out now, but I see the potential of that really to go like this, because we have all the different packages and every job has to be built custom. So to be able to generate the packages, tweak them to make them custom, and then push that information to the automatic Zoho sheet document, which is what my operations team is using to manage the budgets that we're creating on the front end. So they're managing them on the back end, and they're all tied into the record. Right. So they talk to each other. And then that budget for each job kind of moves from module to module and is a living document. So when anybody updates that, it's kind of can be seen wherever it needs to be seen, and it helps us to keep track of things. So we're doing a large volume of jobs. We're probably going to do 225 jobs this year, which means
it's a lot.
You're probably going to put through, 500 estimates or more through the system, a year.
So right now, the process before this system was that you had an external system that people would enter the information, eventually producing some kind of a proposal, and it's also clunky. And if the client want to make a change, they need to redo the entire process from scratch, right?
Yep.
So it's time consuming and prone, like error prone.
Correct. Very laborious process. And it's also not linked to that budget tool Excel sheet that we were using. So they're completely separate.
Standalone systems that lots of copy paste needs to be done.
Yep. So now it's all living in the record, living in the system, and eventually we'll be able to build the dashboards and have those, access to that information much more readily, and feel confident that it's up to date.
You have also an interesting view. Usually people in Zoho, they will have the leads view, which is the Kanban view, but the Kanban view will be based on the lead status. In your case, the lead status is not really what you see on those columns. There is an aggregations of multiple lead sources for each column. So you can see less columns, but you can see what you need to do based on the stage of the lead, which is also, I think, a very cool concept that is not really existing in too many systems.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a system that somebody had showed us how they were doing things in their leads, different CRM, but the way they were managing their leads in Pipedrive. And then we took that to Pipedrive, and when we migrated to Zoho, we brought it with us and continued that because it just worked for us. I think that's the bottom line, is that everybody needs to get the system to work for them so that it displays the things they need to display, moves down the funnel at the different milestones or stages that are custom to your business. And that's sort of how we built it out.
But, based on the CRM, you can see the maturity of the business. And based on your system, your business, for sure, it's a, mature and established business that the business owner knows exactly what it needs to have. Usually when you have infant businesses in the beginning of their process, they will come to the architect and they will ask questions. Okay, so what do I do next? What is the right thing to do? And usually with more mature businesses, the conversation is different. This is what I need to do. What's the best, approach, or what is the best practice? But this is what I need to do.
Yeah, I think over the last couple of years, we've gone through the manual processes to understand like what we're doing and what's working or not working. And then it was like communicating that and getting that down on paper and communicating that to you guys and your team to then be able to implement. So we knew exactly what we needed to do because we've been doing it, but we've just been doing it manually. We just needed to get you guys to implement it, which is kind of where we're at now. So.
Right, and it's relatively simple when you're getting good instructions like the ones you provided. So it's making our life, much easier, much simpler. And I know that you also have a very interesting operation system. So usually, as you said, that you don't like Zoho projects, and Zoho project is motivated by lots of manual entries, lots of clicks, lots of delegations, and it's time consuming. And this is probably you don't like it. The system that you have is a completely different concept that is being motivated by one task is ending and then something else automatically starts, right? Can you tell us a little bit about this type of system?
Yeah, so like once a lead moves through the funnel, moves into when it becomes a deal, moves through the deal funnel. And when a deal is won, we have a stage called project kickoff, which means the deal is won, we have a contract signed, it gets dumped into project kickoff. And what happens there is an automation that takes that from that deals module into the project management module, which is a different pipeline.
And that's in the CRM.
In the CRM. And then that life cycle of the project, the real job, it has its own milestones and stages. And so each project can be different, but a lot of them are similar, where there's pre-production, there's production, there's multiple stages of post-production and project management. And so these jobs will go through that life cycle, and at each milestone, certain automations get kicked off. So if a job moves from pre-production to production, an automated email will go out to people that says, this job is now in production, or here's the call sheet for this job. Here's all the information for this job.
So basically, so from my understanding, every job cycle, because you have different products, so every job cycle will have its own way to manage itself, because you know in advance when this ends, something starts, and then notifications will kick in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to take a step back, I forgot to mention, was when a deal is won and we dump it into project kickoff, which creates the automation that notifies all the teams with a custom email template out of the record or out of the system. So it automatically pulls all of the record information that we've designated for it to pull. And then the salesperson can send an email to everybody on the billing team with all the billing information for the job. So like 3 or 4 people might need to see that. It says, here's the client, here's the invoice, here's the payment terms, here's this, this, and this. That's done. Then there's a second one that goes out where it goes to the production team. Here's the ticket. Here's the job that we sold. Client name, project name, description, how many production days, how many cameras, what kind of gear, what are the deliverables, what is the desired result or reaction of these videos. All that creative information that we've gotten up front gets pulled into that record and communicated to the production team. So 2 separate groups of people are getting the information that they need when that kickoff automation happens. And then similarly throughout those milestones, it kicks off notifications, emails, tasks, or information from each milestone, and it goes to who it needs to go to.
Awesome. I think you have a very nice system, and also the other things that are in the pipeline will make it like a killer system. And I think it's all thanks to your, to your business maturity, and that you guys know exactly what they need, what you need. So that's I think the key for this your project success.
Yeah, I'll say that years ago when we first got into Zoho, we sort of like spun our wheels a lot because we didn't know what that process was. So it took us a while to like physically go through the process to understand what it was, to then be able to communicate it to a Zoho team to actually implement. So now that we're a couple years into doing these things and working in Zoho, now it's starting to click. No pun intended, Zoho click. But
before we close the session, any chance that you can provide me a few examples of your jobs that I can add them to the end of this video, that people can see like what you're doing and the result of your work?
Yeah, I mean, might be good to just show you our latest demo reel.
Sure.
it shows like a multitude of jobs and everything that we did last year. Basically, we put into a 2022 demo reel. Here are our clients. Here's all the projects we worked on last year. Some slick music,
Awesome.
quick cuts. It gives people a taste of the type of things that we work on.
JC, always great talking to you. Thank you very, very much for your time. I know that you're an extremely busy person. Thank you for joining this session. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me. It's been a
Thanks.
pleasure.
Goodbye.